Good morning, day 9. All right, let's begin in child's pose. Let your hips sink to your heels and allow for your arms to either reach quite a bit forward, or sometimes it feels nice to begin with your knees tucked in more closely and your arms draping back by your side. And then just allow the transition between the busyness of, what's in front of you or behind you today and more to the quieter space inside. Begin your journey to your tree house where you've cultivated a nice peaceful place. The more frequently you walk to that tree house, the clearer the path. So you might drop right in to your peacefulness. Other weeks or months, there might be lots of weeds, the path is overgrown. It might take you 10 minutes to get there. So don't worry about it. Just begin the journey. And that journey begins with concentration on breath. So as you draw your first stronger breath in through the nose, notice if you can soften behind your eyes and through the jaw. And then just open your mouth and take a simple exhale as if you're fogging up a mirror. Just make a little sound. And then slowly draw breath in again through the nose, taking your time, filling for maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Holding at the top so there's just not any moving of the breath. It's neither coming nor going. And then open your mouth, push the breath out, squeeze the belly, make the sound the same equal length of 3, 4, or 5 as it goes out. Remain empty at the bottom as you can. And then again, slowly draw the breath in. That ease comes with it. Holding at the top. And a simple audible exhale. Now, closing your lips, let the breath move in through the nose and out through the nose, creating a rhythm and a cadence that holds your body supported by your breath, but also holds your attention supported by the rhythm. Notice if you can by now, maybe constrict your throat muscles just gently enough to create a little audible quality there. It sounds like the distant ocean. And your next inhale, just slowly rise up onto your hands and knees, maybe keeping your eyes closed and move in whichever way feels best to you. So a lot of times cat and cow helps you stay trained on the breath. Exhaling as you look under and around the back. Inhaling as the belly falls and the gaze will lift. The tail will also lift. Exhale, looking under. Inhale, maybe looking up. Some of you may be making infinity shapes with the hips or bigger circles. Whatever feels sort of most natural in the morning or the afternoon. And then we'll just simply take a neutral spine position. So gaze right between your thumbs. Notice the core starting to sort of warm and fill up. And then just send the left leg only back and the right arm forward, just like you're beginning to shake a hand. And then if you'd like, add to that with some balance challenge by opening the left knee to the left sort of awkwardly and swim the right arm open to the right. Hold there, push into your left hand quite a bit. Breathe steady. On an inhale, extend everything long again, and then simply set it down. Notice if there's a lot of flare in the front ribs, kind of keep those harnessed and contained. Send the right leg back now, maybe point and flex the foot. Left arm forward again, like you're gonna shake hands, so thumb is up. Push into the right hand. Open the right knee to the right. Swim the left arm to the left. Breathe as you push strongly into the right hand. Extend everything long. Inhale, breath. Exhale, set it down and just come directly into a plank pose. Head, hips, and heels in one straight, strong line. If the breath is already starting to say, hey, 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 that's a little too much, too fast, drop one or two knees and then continue breathing fully. Remember, the breath is the only barometer by which the effort is measured. So if it's choppy in the breathing, you dial back the breath or dial back the effort just a bit. Take one more strong breath here in your plank pose and find your way into downward facing dog. You have about 5 breaths in down dog at the starting point, and it just allows you to sort of suss things out, bend your knees, right, left, shake your head yes and no, maybe kind of bounce your chest a little bit. Notice if you can energize the arms a little further. Let some movement come in, maybe shimmy your hips side to side, like you're wagging your tail. And then you'll eventually come into more of a structured downward facing dog where you'll feel opposing energies from the hips. So the hips are lifting up like they have balloons on them. Your tail is kind of lifting up to the ceiling. And then there's an energy of heaviness in the heels that just allows for some traction to come into the leg. There can be a softness in the knee there. And then there's a strong energy pushing the hands somewhat forward. So there's a push and pull between the hands and the tail. And again, creating some traction through the spinal system. This pose alone can bring you a lot of wellness and health and good feeling in your body. But it takes, time to get into it and have it be sustainable. As you're here, just take maybe one more breath in that nice, strong position. As you stay here for your exhale, maybe melt your chest a little more towards your thighs. Fill your lungs. Look to your thumbs. And then either take 10 or so baby steps to the top, or some days you'll be hopping. Half lift on arrival though each time. Lengthen the spine, chin away from chest. Exhale, fold and slightly round at the bottom. Inhale, root down, rise up, reach for the ceiling. Hands to your sides, Samastihi, and then mountain pose. Pausing there. Let the shoulders maybe lift up this first round, roll down the back and settle, and then notice if that flares the front body up. Kind of draw that in, cinch it in, and then soften your gaze, your gazing point, your drishti, or settling that right out in front of you on something static, and letting the vision become almost blurry, like you're retracting your vision so that everything gets very soft. And the breath then it continues sweeping in like the ocean, moving out like the ocean. Be like sort of weird about it, like so intimate with your breath. The quality of breath is what leads you to the meditation. You're breathing with this intention and concentration on just breath, bringing your focus inward. You'll feel that meditative essence throughout class. Inhale together, reach up. Exhale, fold forward with soft knees this first round. Half lift, inhale, breath. Fold again, exhale. Root down, rise up, inhale, breath all the way to the top, half salutation. Hands to your sides. Pause there, hold, and then continue just reaffirming that, focusing, containing, and breathing. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the rhythm going to whatever length suits you best. And again, it's intentional. There's not music playing, so use the breath to have the warmth coming into the body with the sound if you can. No stress if you can't. It is a practice. Again, inhale, reach up. We'll step back this time. Exhale, lead with the heart, fold in half. Half lift, inhale, shoulders back. Hands down, find that familiar plank again, maybe lowering the knees first. Inhale here. Lower all the way to the belly for locust pose. Legs, chest, and arms up like you're flying. Hold there and take another inhale breath. On your exhale, lower the hands. Use the knees these first rounds or two. Down dog, or if the breath is getting a little too choppy, child's pose. Maybe close the eyes. taking care to just be gentle with yourself. We're pretty well equipped at being rushed and aggressive and all the things that we do in our day to day. We're looking to cultivate and sort of relearn what it means to be soft and gentle. Good. One more sun A. Inhale. Exhale, look forward, step for hop. Half lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Root down, rise up. We're going to come right back down on the exhale, swan dive forward, empty. Half lift, inhale, breath. Hands down, pretty quick with the feet, back to plank. Maybe inhale and plank again and lower halfway or all the way. Up dog, cobra, or maybe repeating that locust position. That's the most valuable, giving you the strength in the back chain. Child's pose or down dog, 5 breaths. Three more breaths here. So if in the future you're taking this particular replay, you could pause and add 2 or 3 more sun A's or any sort of variety of sun salutation before you moved into the flow. We'll build the flow now though, together. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Use the length of the exhale to step the foot forward. Send the arms back like wings. Left arm is reaching and then the right. Inhale up into your crescent pose. Back foot spins flat as you move to your warrior two. Just organize the hips. Inhale, reach up, maybe a mild amount, doesn't have to be 100%. And the exhale brings you all the way to chaturanga one day, but maybe you're stopping for a refill in plank. And then you're exhaling. Maybe you're rolling over both feet at the same time. Maybe you're taking, time just to move yourself back to child's pose. Take care to feel good when you leave this mat. And the surest way to feel good when you're done with your practice is to let the breath be the barometer so your mind gets a vacation. You don't have to think again and again whether you're doing it right or should be doing more or should be doing less. The breath knows. Just let it chart the way. Left leg is the inhale, lifted high. Long step through. When the heel hits, that signals you to breathe in again. Reach the arms back. Right arm and then the left. Inhale up. Warrior two. You have to kind of move the front foot in just a little bit. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale, hands to the floor. We're not super strict with the alignment there because you're there for just such a brief amount. So just get into your body and feel good there. And then I'll eventually exhale, hands to the floor. Find your way back. Downward facing dog is where you'll meet. Child's pose is the perfect substitute for it. One more simple round. Do your best just to let your breath guide you so each movement will begin and end with the corresponding in and out breath. The right leg is the inhale, stepping forward as you exhale. Arms behind as you breathe in. Reach left and then right as you breathe out. Inhale with your crescent posture. Exhale into warrior two. Stay nice and low in the legs as you reach up and back. And then windmill as you exhale. Again, maybe one day stretching that to chaturanga. Absolutely appropriate to take an inhale and plank. Personalizing this practice will give you, just another element of ease. You're not trying to keep up with a teacher or figure out new and exciting ways of doing postures. You're just trying to create a meditative force of movement, connecting your body and your mind. Nice and simple. Last time through, left leg, inhale. Exhale, stepping forward. Inhale, arms behind. Reach right and then left. Inhale up to the ceiling. Move slowly, exhale. There's all that time between the breaths. Inhale, reverse, linger at the top. Exhale your way to downward facing dog. All right, take however many breaths is necessary here to make sure your breath is restored. It has that ebb and flow like the ocean. The waves aren't crashing, against the rocks. You just have a nice rhythm in the body. All right, so we warmed it up. We dusted off the counters. Let's get to some of the bigger work. Looking forward, feet to your hands. You don't have to take the half lift. We're just rising up to stand. Arms over your head sideways, palms together. It's a Kali Mudra grip, meaning interlaced fingers, index releases, and the thumbs are crossed. Biceps squeeze the ears. Inhale, reach up. Then on the exhale, go up and over just a little bit to the right, creating a crescent moon shape in the body over time. Equal energy in both legs. Thigh muscles pull up and away from the kneecaps. The glutes are engaged. The belly's drawing in. And the biceps continue squeezing, but there's also a little upward lifting. So as the hands are up, the shoulders are up as well towards the ears. That allows for those neck muscles to get a little bit of a break and helps with the alignment in the spine. So this lateral stretch is benefiting you in a million ways. All sorts of just longevity is enhanced in the simple work you're doing here, standing on 2 feet, taking care of you. 3, 2, and 1. Back to neutral. Reorganize. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, up and over to your left side. Maintain equal balance in both legs. So lots of times you'll feel one leg taking over. Energize both. The glutes are working. It's not a thrust or anything. It's just a nice gentle engagement. The core is drawing in, so there's not a lot of back bending happening. The low ribs are harnessed. The biceps squeeze the ears, and over time, they actually walk back behind the ears as long as you can keep that tether between the ribs and the hips a little bit tighter, and then come down further, but more than that, reaching upward. So this is an upward reach. The lateral stretch will open over time. Keep getting longer. Yes, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the top. Retain the hand clasp. Look at your thumbs. And then just lift out of the waist as you draw a small line on the ceiling. It might be 1 inch, 2 inch, or 6. And then as you're there, re-energize the legs, lift out of the waist again. Trust the architecture of the body, but mostly the breath. 3, if you're holding the breath, maybe going farther than necessary. And 1, back to the top. Hands to your sides. Let all of that stuff happen. Try to resist the urge to take a sip of water or fuss with your clothes. Just let it all happen. I've heard a teacher say recently, don't undo it. Just let it be. And moving into your first set of squats. So maybe your feet are together, arms are up, and you're letting your knees go side to side. Or maybe your approach is wider feet, toes out, heels in, more of a traditional malasana. It's just a transition into a forward fold. So if your low back is happy and it's not super chatty, it's dissipated quite a bit, move right into your forward fold. You might walk your feet left, right, 15 or so times. And then settle into Padangusthasana with your peace fingers and thumb grip. Feet are about hips distance apart. It's nice to bend your knees a lot and let your head go. And then as you surrender through the crown of the head, the hips begin to lift more and more. The head's kind of pulling out of the shoulders a bit here, creating a little more length in the spine. Bring some tone to the belly, lift that up slightly. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes. Elbows are going out to poke the sides of the mat. One more nice soft inhale, bringing in the space, and then move into that space as you exhale. There might be a crow pose exit here, eventually downward facing dog. Take your time. No rush. The class ends at the same time for all of us, so whether you do extra in between, if you pause it, if you're on the replay. You don't have to really rush to keep up if you're taking this live. Just catch up when you catch up. No big deal. Truly, it's like a buffet. Take what you need, leave what you don't. Some days you do a lot, some days you do a little. And the lungs are the only ones that get to choose those things, right? Second set, look forward, step or hop. Inhale, arms over your head, palms together. Right into the meat of it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, up and over to the right. Maximum stretch on this set. As you're here, you might use your right hand to sort of pull the left hand more, going up and out of the waist in an equal amount, and then over an imaginary beach ball. Re-energize both legs. Soften and lift your chin so the throat is visible. Good, come down a little more and squeeze the biceps to the ears. Tighter, stronger, straighter arms. Yes. Return back to the top. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, up and over to our left side. As you're here, same thing. Energy in the legs, lifting up. Heart space is shining. You might pull your fingers to the back left corner of your mat, but then re-tether the hips down towards the low ribs down towards the hips. One more stronger breath. Go as far as you can. Left hand now pulling the right. And return to neutral. Second back bend. Make the legs crazy, crazy strong. Inhale, lift up out of the waist. Exhale, fall back. Go back. Over time, this becomes very deep. Really trust the body to open on its own. And return. Back to neutral. Hands to your sides. And pause. Vibration will be high. Your heart rate's going to lift. Let it. Breathe through it all. Just like you took your Swiffer and you're kind of dusting out these little corners. That's what we're looking for. You want to feel that circulation. Second squat, again, it's meant to dissipate that stuff in the low back. So as you're slowly coming down, you're then eventually moving into a forward fold. In Sumit's sequence, when he teaches this, he goes directly into a fold. I put the squat in as I aged. It just is a slightly kinder transition, in my opinion. And then from here, your second forward fold. If you lower down with your feet together, you might retain that feet together position and reach around with little cups, cupping your heels with your hands, or you might separate the feet and slide your hands underneath the front. Maybe something different every day. This is a daily practice. The sequence is meant to be done in a routine way each day. Right? It's just a nice light touch into all the spaces, and it adds up collectively over time. It's pretty fantastic that we can do it each day without any sort of side effect. Hands to the floor. Step your way back, maybe crow pose again. The only side effect is that you feel really fabulous in your body. And then downward facing dog. Anytime child's pose, if you don't feel quite ready yet. Otherwise, we're going to include awkward today, so stepping to the middle of the mat. Before you rise to stand, separate your feet 2 fist distance and rise to stand with your arms out in front. Squeeze the fingers. Looking down, have the edges of the feet be parallel with the edges of your mat. And as the arms are stretched out like arrows, just sit down like you're sitting in a tiny kindergarten chair. From there, upright the chest a little to enhance the lumbar curve. Sit 1 or 2 inches deeper. Squeeze the fingers, it's helpful. Be lighter in the toes. Upright the chest again, sit 1 inch again. Inhale, rise to stand, keep the arms. Keep your drishti point and come onto the tippy toes. As you're on your tippy toes, stay lifted through the heels. Over time, you're going to get really efficient at that. You'll need to challenge the balance by lowering down an imaginary wall. Feel free to touch a wall if you need to. Heels up, chest up, knees up, heels up, and return. Heels down. Good. Third set, If you do have mechanical challenges in your knees, maybe repeat the first one. That's really beneficial. Otherwise, knees draw together like there's a sheet of paper. Come onto the balls of the feet slightly, just enough for like a marble to roll under your heels. And then coming down an imaginary wall, the shoulders stay stacked over your hips. This is kind of scary the first several times. Come on down. I took a training with an orthopedic surgeon and he assured all of us this is totally fine. Once you get down here, heels on, hips and heels are touching. I know, you can touch the floor, it's okay. Now squeeze the knees, lift the hips 1 inch, point the knees down, and it doesn't have to happen today. You can take this class a million times, it'll happen in a year or two. Rise to standing. Hands to your sides. Health for your knees. Each and every body part. Breathe steady here, just let the circulation happen. And now let's get into the organs and the joints. Inhale, arms up. Right elbow under. Maybe give yourself a hug or palms together. Sit low, right leg up and over the left leg. For eagle, you can always have your foot resting on a block or the floor, or you can snug the foot into the ankle bone, or over time it's going to wrap around towards the Achilles. Not at the expense of these knees though. They need to stay more or less forward, outer hips wrapping back, elbows lift up, sit an inch deeper, lean back. Just one set today. Untangle, inhale, arms up. Left elbow underneath the right. Sit deeply. Breathe steady. And then all those same cues, but fill the breath into the upper back, right between the shoulder blades. Pull your shoulders away from each other as the elbows lift and the hands move forward a bit. Sit again, 2-3 inches deeper. Lean back and release. Inhale, arms up. Hands to your sides. Pause there, hold. Let it happen. Let it just be. Moving on to balancing. Shifting the weight to the left side. Reach down and catch the right big toe, peace fingers and thumb grip. If you have to lean quite forward to do that, and you're unable to stand upright, release the foot and grab the knee instead. If you have the foot and you're upright, maybe kick forward. If you start to kick forward and you have to lean again, retreat back to the knee so you look more like a pirate. Flex your foot a lot while you're there. Stand upright, breathe in, bring the foot back to the front, kick through the heel, reach up, and release. Don't judge the height. It's strengthening all the while, no matter how high it is. Other side. Squeeze the right hip. Same thing, peace finger and thumb grip. Lasso the left big toe. Roll the left shoulder back and down. Stand tall. If you can, kick. If not, don't worry about it. Hand to knee, open up, but mind your outer right hip. Fill that hip capsule up with strength. Those muscles need to support that joint. Back to the front, kick through the heel, reach up, and return, left foot down. Moving right on, 2 sets of dancer. Begin with an imaginary tray in your right hand. Drop the hand down so you maintain this external rotation of the shoulder. Catch the inner right ankle, and then reach the left arm up. From there, for the first set, you might stay put here for many, many months, just bringing balance into the left side. This is not easy. Your foot's calibrating again and again to hold your whole body up on one leg. It's pretty amazing. Just breathe. And then switch. Same thing, imaginary tray. Drop it straight down without turning the wrist at all. Catch the foot or ankle from the inside if possible. Right arm reaches up. And again, that might be months away. You're doing the best that you can for now. And you continue practicing and showing up, and everything starts to work differently as you do. Keep reaching. There's a lot of power in the reach. Reach, 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 reach. And then return. Second set, much more playful. Right hand, inner right foot, left arm up. Tug your knees a little bit together just so it's not flaying out. Left shoulder is going to begin to come forward towards the chin. Inhale. Kick your right foot back in space like a bow. The left arm can represent the arrow. And then as your right shoulder disappears behind you, the left comes forward, but the hips stay remotely neutral. Kick, 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 like you're gonna almost pull your arm off, and then obviously strengthen the muscles there. And return to standing. Other side. Left hand, left foot. Reach up, knees together. Breathe in, kick and stretch, kick and stretch. So continue kicking and stretching. Sumit always teaches a bow pulling pose here, which is more of a traditional Bikram posture. This is dancer. They're both amazing and very similar benefit, the same benefit. Back to standing, 2 feet down, hands by your sides. Woo, breathe steady. We're gonna stay on the gas and elevate the heart rate a little further because we have a little Shavasana coming. So if there's room for it, stay on the gas. Inhale, arms overhead, palms together. That same Kali Mudra grip at the top. Breathe in, step your right foot forward, keep your chin away from the chest, look off the top of the mat. Body down, leg up parallel to the floor. As you pull your hands forward, the left foot's pulling back in space. No rush. Return to standing. Inhale. The heart rate should be climbing. Step your left foot. This is the cardio component of the sequence. It's all very comprehensive. Energy everywhere. Notice if there's any place that's a little lower energy. If there's something that's overdoing, even it out. Return back to standing. Hands to your sides. Ooh, pause. You might skip the second little warrior 3. Otherwise, arms overhead, palms together. Step your right foot forward and just be true and honest with yourself. If the breath is saying skip it, skip it. Hands to heart center, nice and simple. Maybe stay there, maybe reaching forward. Return. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left foot steps. Hands to heart center. Reach forward and return. Don't overdo it, just lay down. Just go to the laying down space. Close your eyes. The sooner you get to this laying down space, the faster the benefits come at us. Just surrender and breathe. So I understand in a public class it feels real conspicuous when you're newer to yoga to even try out the Ujjayi breath. It would just mean that you're creating a vibration in your throat that has a sound that maybe your closest neighbor would hear. Not like 5 mats over necessarily. It's not that loud. But it does create a little warmth in the room. It just sounds a little like the ocean coming and going. And it's lovely. But more than that, it gives your mind one more sense to train on. So your ears are now starting to hear the rhythm of your breathing, and you can just be that much more optimized in your performance and how you're using your lungs. And it's rhythmic. So we're going to roll over into down dog. And if that rhythm isn't there yet for you, don't worry about it. Just stay with me, stay with the teacher, and try very much to allow your breath to move you in and out of the postures. Just try not to move out of a posture in mid-breath. Good, take an inhale, big exhale. Next time, inhale, right leg lifts up. Just like the warm-up, exhale, step the foot or drag it. Inhale, arms behind. You can also do this with the knee down for a moment, reaching forward. Inhale, slowly up. Find your way to warrior 2. Organize your feet so you're on a tightrope. The hips are just nice and neutral. Reverse up and back. Right elbow to the thigh, left hand to the sky. Good. For this side angle, you might deepen it by dropping the hand to the block or the floor, or extending the top arm bicep near the ear. One long line of energy from foot to hand. Feel the left leg up a little bit more. It tends to be saggy. Take another breath in, breathe and reach. And then drop the left hand to the floor as you come onto the back toes. Inhale, reach the arm up. Wrap the arm as you exhale. Pull the collarbones forward as you inhale. Feel all that length. Twist a little more as you exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, untangle. Walk your right foot to the right a bit for lizard, your variation. So some days you're going to stay uprighted. Other days you might come onto a forearm or two. Some days maybe you're going to straighten the right leg and feel more of a half split. Maybe there's an arm balance there if this is the end of the day and you've been doing yoga for decades. As we climb out of our side angle, we'll start with spinning the left foot flat. Send the left arm up to the sky. You're a little more compressed on the right side, that's okay. Send the left hand behind the back and you might reach through and under for a quick bind, just one breath's worth, just long enough to pull those collarbones forward again. And then untangle, we'll drop the left knee to the floor and climb up onto the right knee for a prayer twist. Inhale first and then your exhale brings you into your twist. The top hand just gently pushing the bottom hand. The collarbones again pulling away more from the hips. You might look over your right elbow. One more exhale breath. Fill again. And then release your way back to downward facing dog. Any amount of vinyasa flow in between. Take your time. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, arms back. Exhale, reach. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Stay a little longer, deeper, maybe bend the left knee, but again, fill the right leg up as well. So equal energy everywhere. Maybe top arm extending. Take another inhale, reach further. Drop your right hand, come onto the back toes, left arm up high. Move just kind of instinctively, left hand behind the back. Notice if you're looking back or rounding, pull the collarbones forward. Untangle to your lizard of choice. Maybe the elbow comes behind the calf muscle and you drop onto the right forearm, the head falls. Back to side angle. Right foot flat, right arm up. So energetic. Breathe in, lift a little out of the waist. Right hand behind the back. Again, another opportunity for a very quick bind. And then returning for prayer twist, right knee down. Walking through the body, one breath at a time. This just has a good way of untangling all these pieces. One more. And flow. Maybe occasionally just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and feel. Intuitively, you can sense places where there's a low flow of energy or an abundance of energy. The body's trying to bring us back into harmony. We just have to become better listeners. When you're ready, right leg lifts up, long step through, warrior two. Good, so you're here for 5 breaths. The alignment starts to matter a little more. So scoot your right foot forward a bit. You are on the tightrope. The right knee pulls to the baby toe side of the foot. And there's again, equal, even energy, low body, upper body, front body, and back. Try to avoid having a duck butt here, so a little bit harnessing the tail. Remember this pelvic bowl energy, nice and even. And then some days it feels cool to imagine your feet are like magnets, they're squeezing towards each other. Kind of feel that updraft in the pelvic floor, but that resend the front knee. And if you cover up your big toes, scooch them forward again. Good. Breathe steady. Straighten your right leg, turn in the toes, and take a swan dive. Grab onto either the knees, the ankles, maybe stand on the edges or stand with the edges of the feet on your fingertips. But it's a different fold in that your chin is away from the chest here, looking right at the floor. Hands to your hips, slowly come up, back to warrior two. And then side plank as you come down, left hand plants either right under your shoulder or a little in front. You can also make this a simple twist. For side plank, you'd stack the arches, lift the hips, right arm over. Some days you might come into a tree variation or lift the right leg. You can even flip over. And then slowly back to plank. Hold the plank. You can take 5 shoulder taps if you would like. And then slowly back to downward facing dog or child's pose. On to the other side. Inhale, left leg. Long step through on the tightrope for warrior two. Arms open front to back. As you soften into the front knee again, being able to see your big toe is important. And then if there's a whole bunch of like weird archy stuff going on with the hips, that's okay. Over time, you become more skillful here. Over time, things make better alignment. That's just a fact. In the beginning, your alignment might not be totally ideal, and it's not going to do any amount of harm. Just be strong in your body, even as much as possible, and just settle. Just float around with your breath. And then slowly rise up. Turn your toes, interlace the hands if they'll reach, if not, hands to your back. Crown of the head towards the floor, chin to chest. The harm really can only come into the body by just not using it, right? Get into your body, you know how to move it. Easy twist. Left hand under the nose, right hand reaches. Over time, the shoulders will stack, the hips will be mostly neutral. Switch sides. Left arm up, but just feel this yummy twist. Hands to your hips, rise up. Warrior two again on your way out to side plank or just a nice trusty twist some days. Vashisthasana, maybe left foot swings back to stack on the arches. Maybe you're dropping your left knee down. Couple more breaths here. And then return yourself back to down dog. So as far as the flows go, 1 takes the heart up, 2 brings it down, 3 brings it up, up, but it also challenges our humbleness because the sequencing is more complex and not really sensible for everyone. So either just skip it entirely if you know that it steals your peace, rest on your back for 3.5 minutes is huge value in that, or just come at it kind of playfully. Don't worry too much about it, and feel good. So let's move. From your down dog, reach the right leg up and step to a warrior one. So right foot goes basically where the right hand was, and the arms reach up. The hips are a little bit forward, but not overly you're not torquing this left hip forward. From there, you're going to move yourself into warrior two. The front foot has to come to the middle. The hip alignment changes. And then straighten the front leg, reverse triangle. Triangle pose, Trikonasana, right hand to the shin, floor, block, ankle, big toe. Just don't push on your shin too hard. Left hand behind the back. Maybe the right arm floats. There's an option now to add on into a half moon. Shift and lift forward if you are. Left arm is up. You're here so briefly, it's okay if you don't have a block. Bend your right knee, drop your left foot down. Inhale, reverse up and back. Hands to the floor, kind of like a pyramid variation. Bump your back foot forward quite a bit. And then find maybe a twist. Other days, maybe hands stay to two blocks. Right hand behind the back, pull the collarbones forward as you've been doing. Take a breath in. Warrior three maybe, leg up, arms back, or stay in the twist. From here, we're gonna dive down for standing splits. Take the fold first, and then lift the leg a little more, a little external rotation. This isn't gonna hurt, but keep breathing. Flex your left foot, walk your hands forward, shoulders are right above the wrists. Stay here for many, many months. Over time, you'll feel organized enough in the hips to lift the right hand and reach the right arm up. Revolved half moon. 3, 2, and 1. Hands down, find your way back. Downward facing dog. Flow your way in between anything that feels good. Left leg lifted high. Long step, warrior one. Glide to warrior two. Reverse triangle. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right hand behind the back. If you'd like, shift forward and lift, half moon. Use some leverage to get out of this. So like you're bobbing for apples, dip the chest, bend your left knee, lightly touch the right foot down. Reverse. Windmill your hands down, bump your back foot a generous amount. Left hand to the heart, maybe left hand to the sky. Left hand behind the back. Pull the collarbones forward, breathe in. Warrior three, leg up, arms back. You could always leave your hands to the floor because they're going right back there anyway. Hands down, fold in, and lift the right toes. It's technically internal rotation that you want, but hips are different. Flex your right foot, walk your hands forward, breathe, just feel good. Maybe you're going to revolve your half moon, maybe you're not. Left hand up if you are. 3, much stronger in the flying leg. 2, and 1. That's it. All done. With the heart stuff. Right leg now lifting up. Take a short step through, bump your back foot forward a slight amount. Reach your arms overhead, palms together. Chin to chest, find that Jalandhara chin lock. Dive in. Release the hands if needed. Halfway up, arms back. Left arm and then the right. All the way up. And then pigeon on the right side. If pigeon doesn't work in your knees, the safest alternative is to simply roll onto the right edge. Make a 90-degree angle with the front leg, a 90-degree angle with the back leg, and then explore where you want to go. You might place a couple blocks under the forehead. This is a foam roller. If you're in pigeon, the knee is behind the wrist, the foot is more in towards the groin, and the hips are hovering. You can put a blanket under your outer right hip. You're here long enough to set it up. And then the strong Ujjayi breath sort of falls off a bit once you get into these floor postures, but the rhythm of the breath is still there, and there's this faint sound holding our attention. If you want to decorate this differently or explore some landscape with that back leg, do that. Otherwise, you might be coming into down dog with the three-legged position, keeping the outer left hip nice and strong again, not compressing in that capsule. Take your time. And then slowly we'll move into the left side. Pyramid, bump your right foot forward, arms overhead. If you ever feel a tug in the back of the right knee, step your foot forward a little bit more. And then as you come up, arms back. If this strains your back, think of locust. Locust, you're lifting away from the floor. Keep those muscles turned on as you reach forward. And then up. And come down. Pigeon on your left side. Feel free, you guys, to message me questions later. You can always just workshop things, look up poses and specifics on the internet. You'll find several conflicting versions of each one, and they're all most likely correct in one way or another. Just remember, you are the ultimate authority on the pose and the alignment. Just be in a place where you're restful in your breathing and you feel vibrant and easeful all at the same time. And we'll slowly begin the journey out of this. Whatever variety you may have added is good. The eyes should stay nicely soft or even maybe closed. And then finishing all of that moving stuff with tree. Walking to the top, rise to stand. Some days trees are very sturdy and big trunk type trees, and other days they're light and willowy. No judgment. This is not a practice where the ego or the opinions have any place. So just be rooted and feel uplifted and grateful. Just feel this immense gratitude for this practice and the wellness that it brings us. If the right foot is at the ankle, that's good. If it's above the knee, that's good. Just maybe don't pressure the knee directly. And switching sides. And then rest your second of 3 Shavasanas. Lay down flat, just 30 seconds, and be still. You can just stay here, just continue this rest. This would even be a natural stopping place. You can stretch again later if you have to, but slowly rolling over onto your belly for 2 rounds of Shalabhasana, locust poses. Once you get there, Sumit would say this is the most important piece. You've just worked this hard, warmed up enough to do this. So as we're here, we're gonna glue the legs together, or they can stay slightly apart. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the legs, reach through the toes, reach to the crown of the head. Let the chin tuck slightly so the neck is not strained. And then inflate again. Bigger inhale breath. Remember, you just have to fuel it with oxygen. The muscles have already done the work. As you lower down, look to the left. Place your right ear on the floor. And you can always do your own thing here if you know you want to do any varieties or floor bow or anything different. Feel free. Otherwise, second set, we'll interlace the hands behind the back, glue the legs together. Inhale breath, lift the legs and then lift the chest, or lift the chest and then lift the legs. But no strain in the low back. Those muscles are working equally and energetically. So there's not any one place that's super compressed. And then the mind is going to be like, okay, we've had enough. But the lungs say, no, I've got this. We're good. We're getting stronger. These are the muscles that keep us walking healthy, upright, and happy. And lower down. Look to the right. Let your left ear follow the floor. Walking healthily. That was a strange use of the word healthy. And then again, there's all sorts of stuff, kind of paint by numbers here. You can come up for camel, or if you're with me, we're going to roll over onto our backs again for bridge. Once you get into your bridge position, feet are hips distance as a generalization. Lifting the hips, don't look at the camera or your monitor because you want to keep your gaze right up at the ceiling. And then wiggle your shoulders up underneath the chest. Maybe you're interlacing the hands if they'll find each other. Now, sort of just pull your chin away from the chest a bit, and maybe the chest is moving towards the chin as you pressure through the feet. It's not a strong thrusting, but the glutes are definitely working. And then just very gently and slowly lower down, moving your way into Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want to go through some wheel postures here, you do that. Resist the urge to pull your knees right into your chest between sets. Instead, take your feet wide on the mat, bring your knees together. More of a constructive rest, much healthier for your muscle system in the back. And then closing the knees like a book, slowly bring both knees into the chest. You can insert any amount of seated folds and twists here. This class happens to be a really condensed morning, get out the door type of situation. So we're just going to take a mild twist or a mild stretch by letting the left leg go and the right leg go to the ceiling. Walk your hands up as far as is comfortable, nothing forced. Over time, you might pull your forehead closer towards your shin only if the foot is really truly directly right over your face. Otherwise, you might have the support of a bath towel or a strap here. Close the eyes, let the ease come as you fall open with the leg. The right elbow supporting you on the floor with the hand supporting the leg directly. Keep your eyes closed, circulate breath, be intentional with the relaxation. And then planting the left foot down, cross the right knee over, shimmy your hips right, find your twist. If you're extending this class another 15 or so minutes, you could do an inversion, shoulder stand plow pose, definitely wind removing pose. And then come back to center, start from scratch. Right leg now coming to the floor. Left leg up to the ceiling. Maybe walking your hand up the leg a slight bit, but again, never any force. Just the softness, even the shoulders and the fingertips try to get aggressive here. Just being aware of that. Ease everywhere. And then the left elbow to the floor, open up. And then migrating into your twist. The nourishing piece of the yoga is really built on the foundation of your breathing, which is still continuing to hold your attention and our focus. When the thoughts start to come in, you notice them, but they're just moving like clouds. You're not getting attached to the thoughts. They just kind of skitter through as you continue keeping your primary focus on the ebb and flow of the breath. Like it's the most intimate, important thing you've ever done. Because it is every day, nourishing yourself. And then coming back to center. Both knees into your chest. And as we settle in for our final rest, I'll share a little story with you. I recall the first time or two I took this class with Sumit. I had been doing yoga for a long time already, but at the end of class, he said, he didn't say namaste or anything. All he did say was, "We'll see you tomorrow." And I remember being like, "But I do yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And how will I see you tomorrow?" And it was the first time it became obvious that we could do yoga every single day. And really because his sequence fits a daily practice. And what a blessing that little sentence was to my life. And equally blessed to be able to share it with you guys. So as you're settling in, take a big breath in. An easy breath out. Stay here for as long as you can. At least 2 minutes, hopefully 10. And we'll see you tomorrow.